Hello. Hello everyone. Sorry for that intro, but welcome to the 2014 Bank of America 500 race review. So, so before I get into my anger, before I discuss on what went right and what went wrong and all your other things, I just want to say that possibly in future race reviews I may invite but I think for what happened tonight. I think what happened tonight, or just what happened in the race, I kind of feel like I just need to talk about this myself, because I feel like that if I invited someone else here, it may cause distractions. But maybe possibly in the future, if you're subscribed to me, I may try to invite you. But today's race is just not gonna happen. So I'm sorry for those people. So okay. So the whole entire race here, Kevin Hart won. Kevin Hart won. There was a hugely blow fight, and now. And we still got some big names here in huge jeopardy. But are they? But do they deserve a good cut or not? I'll discuss that as well. But I think before that, let me just go through the finishing order here. Harvick 1, Gordon 2nd, McMurray 3rd, Logano 4th, Kyle Busch 5th, Larson 6th, Ryan Newman 7th, Carl Edwards 8th, Dan Hamlin 9th, Kane 10th, Kurt Busch 11th, Allmendinger 12th, Dillon 13th, Truex Jr. 14th, Allgaier 15th, Keselowski 16th, Johnson 17th, Biffle 18th, Matt Kenseth 19th, Dale Jr. 20th, 21st, Tony Stewart 22nd, Eric Almirola 23rd, Landon Castle, Stenhouse Jr. is 24th, Marcus Ambrose 25th, Patrick 26th, Reed Sorensen 27th, Cole Witt 28th, McDowell 29th, Bowman 30th, Mears 31st, David Gilman 32nd, Michael Nett 33rd, Reagan 34th, Corey LaJoie 35th, Timmy Hill 36th, Brian Vickers 37th, JD 38th, Blake Cook 39th, Moffitt 40th, Wise 41st, 42nd, Menard, and 43rd, dead last, Clint Boyer. So now I got that all the way, and I'm sorry for if my speech is just not perfect right here, because I'm going to be trying to go through a lot here, and I have unfortunately some stuttering disorders right here that are not always good. So I'm sorry if you can't always understand everything that I'm saying here. So throughout the race here, throughout the race, I didn't really take too much notes here, but actually before I talk about the race, I just want to say a few things. Actually, this race right here is actually the 8th anniversary, the 8th anniversary of my first NASCAR race that I watched from beginning to end. This race, the 2007 Bank of America 500, was the first full NASCAR race that I watched. And by full, I mean from beginning to end. And I think possibly, if you go to the suggested videos, there are actually some clips right there of the 2007 Bank of America 500. But if they're not there, they already disappeared, but they were there when I was recording this. So the 2007 Bank of America 500. I remember watching that race. I just simply remember taking it. I just simply remember taking in everything, every turn, every spin, every crash, every time someone had a problem here. I just took it all in, and because it was my first full NASCAR race, I was pretty amazed, and I was also very very young. I was younger than now. I'm not gonna reveal my exact age back then. So yeah. So that's just a little trivia question right there. So this race is kind of special for me. Okay, fine. So before I have in here, let's talk about the ESPN situation. So obviously the race was on ABC, but every time a sports event is on ABC, it's always called ESPN on ABC, kind of like that. And we went 25 full laps, and we went 25 full laps here. No NASCAR countdown. no NASCAR countdown, and a full 25 laps. What in the majority of the people watching on TV did not see the first 25 laps. Okay, okay. I'm obviously not gonna like swear here, but it's like, what the heck? It's like what the heck? And the whole time it was happening, I was on the NASCAR live lead board on NASCAR.com, and I was watching the lap by lap coverage. Here, which was basically the only way I could like get my notes here. And when I was watching it, they said go to like ESPN News. So I did that, and then a basketball game was going on. It was delayed because a football game was playing on ABC, and fine. And I'll say something about football and basketball. These are why the main reason why I hate football and basketball is because football and basketball, the clock stops. The clock stops. If I were king of the world, if I were king of the world, what I would do is that if football and basketball game went overtime, don't ever stop the clock because there are people here because there are people who came to watch a race. Who came to watch a race. It may not just be a race. It could be like a television show or something like that. We came here to watch the race. Why do you keep on stopping the clock? You have to. And the people in the booth and the people in the stadium have to be aware, and the coaches and all the football players they have to me my opinion, like they have to be aware that the game is like overtime. Because I always kind of find, because especially in football, I find like super ridiculous when it's like the fourth quarter and the clock stops sorry about that, and the clock stops for like 4 seconds remaining, and yeah, so it stops like 4 seconds, and then I'm like, really, like 4 seconds? Why do you want to stop at 4 seconds? It's not like anything is gonna happen. 4 seconds happens just like that. So yeah, and plus, okay, fine. So I have DirecTV. I don't know how many people watching like have DirecTV or have these channels, but ESPN actually has. Well, on DirecTV, ESPN actually has 2 alternative channels. So I don't know why they couldn't put the race. So I don't know why they couldn't put the race on the 2 alternative channels. There was nothing going on those channels. So I don't know why I do that. And ESPN, if I'm reading this right, ESPN makes millions, if not billions, of dollars per year. I don't know why ESPN. Because to me, if ESPN really wanted to get ratings, if ESPN wants to possibly make like more money here, why didn't you put the race on one of your 2 alternative channels that you have on DirecTV? And there are a lot of Americans have used DirecTV. So yeah, but instead what happened was that apparently on the lap by lap coverage here, they said go to ESPN or go to the Watch ESPN app. I'm going to say I would say a lot of NASCAR fans. Like I would say like a lot of NASCAR fans never ever use ESPN3 or the Watch ESPN app. And I understand that this problem is like rare, but it's like really ESPN. And I think in some cases, even though it's like not true, I think this is like ESPN and NASCAR breaking a trust contact because of course NASCAR is going to NBC next year for the second half of the year, so etc. But and thankfully this will hopefully be like the final time ever. But it's just like kind of like seriously, there are a lot of NASCAR fans out there. There are not like 5, and maybe since I have like no experience like working at TV, so maybe someone can like someone who has like more knowledge on that can like post like a comment or post like an article on explain like why ESPN could not just like simply like put like NASCAR on one of those like alternative channels for DirecTV like viewers. But it's like really. So I don't know. So the first, so the whole entire like NASCAR countdown and like the whole like NASCAR countdown and the first the whole entire NASCAR countdown, the first like 25 laps were just kind of like I just every like minute or lap that like went by, I just like kept on getting like angry. I gotta get a drink of water here. Okay, so now that right is over, so I took down notes, obviously. So heading into the race, other than heading into the race, other than writing ESPN being so stupid, I wrote. So this race is obviously the only night race in the chase. So night races create different conditions than day. The speeds are up, and so is the intensity level. Jimmy, Brad, and Dale Jr. are in jeopardy of being eliminated, and we'll talk about those two drivers in a moment. So heading into the race, I didn't really take it on like that much. Of course, before the race started, like hours before the race, there was like rain, so we had the competition caution here on lap like 25. And we had like multiple leaders. We had like Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin. Those were kind of like the four main drivers that I saw that were leading the race. That there may have been more that I'm just not like that I'm just like forgetting right now. Logano was already locked into the chase because of his win last week. Because of his win like last week at Kansas. But this was kind of the like first race in a long time. In the first chase race, we were starting to see Logano have some issues, despite Logano coming back from finishing at fourth place, and everyone was like, wait a second, so where like Logano come from? So Logano, he did have some issues. He did come down to pit road on the first cycle of green stuff a little more earlier than everyone else, and his car was definitely struggling, but they obviously got that car fixed. So this was the first race that Logano had issues, but I'm just gonna give him a pass because he's like already like locked in. And throughout the race, we saw like Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick have like be able to get like 2, 3. I think at one time like one of those two drivers had like a 5-6 second lead or whatever. And we saw a couple issues on pit road here. We saw like Brad Keselowski get stuck behind Dale Jr. entering his pit because Jr.'s crew members were pushing Jr. on his car there. And let's just talk about like the Dale Jr. situation. So Dale Jr. Obviously, I didn't think like Dale Jr. would get a good finish. I'm sorry, Jr. fans, but I didn't think that he would get a finish here, and he did a lot more worse than what I thought it was. The gear issue. Now we saw Jimmy Johnson have gear issues back in Michigan, and they actually showed like footage of that in the middle of the race somewhere. So Jr.'s like gear issues over here, and even though I believe he finished inside the top 20, I believe it was just like not the day he won right here, and we have seen Junior run a lot more better. Charles, he won the All-Star race here back in 2000. We saw him almost win the 2011 Coca-Cola 600. I can't say Coca-Cola today. We saw him almost win the 2011 Coca-Cola 600 before running out of fuel. So I was expecting Dale Jr. to possibly have like a top 10 car, but he just simply did not have that. And we had, but I think when it comes to cautions, we saw a lot of engine failures. I think we saw Michael Nett, we saw Paul Menard, we saw Brian Vickers, and then I believe we saw someone else. Also like Josh Wise. So about half of the cautions were because of engine failures. In Charlotte Moore Speedway is known for having engine failures, but more so in the 600 than the Bank of America 500. So I think that caught me a little bit off guard right here. So when I look at things right here, so pretty much the whole entire race, though, I kind of felt like that. The whole entire race, it wasn't like, it wasn't like boring at all. I'm not gonna say that this race was like, this race was like boring. Was like boring me to death. But to me, I just kind of felt like that. Like this, to me, I can describe this race as kind of being like, you were waiting for something to happen, and you're just like waiting for it, and then it didn't happen, but then something did happen, but after the race was over. But I'll get to that in a moment here. So yes, and then we saw some pit strategy right here. We saw Dale Jr. use pit strategy before he had like shift gear shift issue. We saw McMurray strategy here. So we saw quite a majority of strategy here. We saw Brian Vickers like hit the wall on lap 236, and we saw like Austin Dillon standing out. We saw a crash of Patrick Newman spinning. But that really did not really affect like Newman like at all, and he's still because he's still 400 points. And by the way, when the time I record this the finishing order and point standings are still considered to be like unofficial. But I think the point standings I'm not going to change it that much if this happens, and I'll get to that in a moment as well. So throughout the race, and then and the pretty much here I'm just gonna like zoom faster here. Well, I guess I could talk about that, So we had pit stops here on lap 269, and then we actually saw some drivers like Hamlin, Keselowski, and Johnson. They all stay out here, and it actually worked for them, especially for Hamlin and Johnson, because they actually got themselves up into the top 5. They got themselves up into clean air, and it worked for them. I don't know why Jimmy came down pit road there, and I'll talk about the Jimmy Johnson and Brad Keselowski situation right there. But then right here we have a restart right here with 2 laps to go. It wasn't everyone checkered because we were still in scheduled distance, and then pretty much those last 2 laps just kind of like went by like so like fast, and I actually kind of expected them to spend like more time focusing on the back of the pack because a lot of the action was going back there, but they just kind of like spent the time on like Harvick and Gordon. And Harvick could just capture the winner right there, and I was actually happy for Harvick because I think he was the most deserving winner. He started I believe he started like 7th, and then and I think I have this one because this is his first win in 6 months. I kind of feel like at this point Harvick probably should already have like 7 like 7 or like 8 wins, like 7 or 8 wins, because I feel like that like throughout the season he's at least had like 5 wins taken away from him. We could look back at like Sonoma, Kansas, Dover, and a bunch of like other races that I can't really like remember like right now. So yeah, so I was very happy for Harvick to get this one, and obviously him along with Logano are now the 2 chasers who don't have to worry at all about Talladega, so they can finally like start breathing again. So let's talk about the Keselowski and Johnson situation. So Keselowski and Johnson, I kind of felt like that. Even though Keselowski won last year and like Johnson won this race 7 times, and Johnson was actually my pick to win the race. Why I'm terrible at picking winners. I kind of felt like that. I felt like that. They weren't really going to like do that well. Because I believe Keselowski and Johnson qualified like 17th and 21st. I could be wrong on this, and I guess someone could go correct me in the comments right now, I guess. So yeah, but the Knights weren't like that terrible. I feel like I just kind of feel like the world expected more from them, because especially for Keselowski and Johnson, because of course they are like previous winners, and they're the 2 most, and they're the 2 more, and they're like the 2 most like recent like NASCAR champions. Yeah. Keselowski was better than Jimmy Johnson. I'll say that, because I feel like that, like Keselowski, his car was stronger. He was somewhat able to get the pack more quicker than Jimmy Johnson, because Johnson's car, he seemed to be really struggling in traffic, until he made his strategy right there. But then all of a sudden here, I felt like honestly, I didn't think like Keselowski deserved to finish like 16th, like 17th, or whatever he finished like outside the top 10. I don't think he deserved to finish in the spot where I honestly felt like he deserved to finish inside the top 5. And then Jimmy Johnson, I don't know what Johnson was thinking. This whole entire year of Jimmy Johnson, I honestly feel like his crew chief Chad Canals, his pit crew, and himself have not been like using their heads. I don't know why like less than like 10 laps to go, you come down road. What are you doing? What are you doing? Because to me, I feel like that Johnson did not come down. I feel like that Johnson didn't come down the pit road. He probably would not have finished like 17th. So I don't know what Johnson was doing right there. Right there. What honestly what I had done was that because to me I feel like it's that to me, in my opinion, what I would have done is that if Harvick and Gordon were not coming down pit road, then don't go down pit road. I don't know what Johnson was thinking like at all, and it makes me really upset as a Johnson fan to kind of like see that right before my eyes on live television. Okay. How do you like a drink? Right there. So then happened. Okay, fine. So the race is over. Now let me blow in the blow fire here. So the blow fire here between Keselowski and Hamilton. I felt like I felt like when a lot of us saw like Keselowski on pit road there, and they had like front end damage, which apparently that front end damage was caused by him accidentally running into Stewart, and Stewart wasn't very happy with that. So Stewart just like rammed into the back of Keselowski, and that's where all that front end damage came from. But then we saw Keselowski here try to spin out Hamilton entering turn 3 in the calm down lap, in the cool down lap. Right there, and then as soon as we got out of his car here, we actually saw like Hamlin. We first saw Hamlin trying to we saw Hamlin, so we saw like Hamlin try to come Keselowski there, and then we saw like crew members like restrain him, and all like the officials are here. So Hamlin, so his situation was restrained, so he obviously never went like after Keselowski. But then all of a sudden, as Keselowski, as he has the cameraman and following right here, and then going between the haulers right here, we saw Matt Kenseth come out like nowhere, and when that happened, it caught me off guard. I was like shocked, surprised, and I was kind of like scared because Kenseth came out like nowhere and just like rammed into Keselowski, and then all of a sudden it looked like that Kenseth was trying to like choke him to death or whatever, because then all of a sudden as soon as Kenseth got to Keselowski, the situation got worse. So I don't know if it's like pit crew members were also going like after Keselowski, or if they were trying to like restrain Kenseth. There was a lot of like drama going on. There was a lot of drama going on in a very narrow situation. And I think when I see these like types of like fights or whatever, I definitely feel concerned for the drivers. I'm not see, and I guess I would like someone to possibly explain to me in the comment section below if anyone is like watching, but I want to understand why like people cheer for drivers like brutalizing each other. I don't get like at all. I don't understand what people like cheer for that like at all. So yeah. So I just don't understand that, and I'm always concerned for like the drivers too, because look how like Keselowski seriously got like hurt right here, and I think possibly what I think NASCAR should probably do is possibly start like laying down like rules, especially rules for not fighting during the cool laps, because to me the type of like fighting we saw here, I think that was possibly the most like intense fighting I can like remember or seen since 2013 Auto Club between Stewart and Logano, because they were just going like at it like end after end. It just like wouldn't end here. So that's that right there. So that's like the blow fire right here. So now I want to get into like who's in trouble. So I think obviously the three main drivers are here: Keselowski, Johnson, and Earnhardt are here. They're still in trouble right here. Keselowski is 19 points back, and Johnson and Jr. Are above, I believe, 26 points back. and I think definitely at Talladega. I think definitely at Talladega. I don't think. Okay, so there, Keselowski, Johnson, and Junior can mathematically make it in on points. You know, they can race their way up there. They can get like solid top fives and top tens. I don't think. But I don't think. I don't think by like any chance. Yes, none of these three drivers have a realistic shot of getting in. I'm sorry for Keselowski, Johnson, Junior fans. I just don't think that it's going to happen. It would surprise me if all three of those drivers made it through. But to me, my opinion, it's Talladega. To me, it's Talladega. Anything can happen, and I see these drivers like crashing and getting involved in the big one, than actually escaping through the big one alive and etc. So yeah, that's how I feel about that because I think like all two because when we look at like the spring race right here, Keselowski got involved in a crash. Keselowski got involved in a crash. Johnson got involved in a crash here, and Junior's like strategy just like did not like work for him like at all. So yeah, and because at Talladega and almost anyone can like win, it's just not like happening for me. So yeah, so look at that. So yeah, so I think those drivers are so I think those drivers are the three drivers that are in trouble. I think everyone else. I think of course everyone. Of course, obviously everyone is in a chase still should be working here because even someone like Kyle Busch, who's the highest driver in the chase, doesn't have a win. Even he has a mathematical shot of of being eliminated. So no one is safe. No one is safe. No one is ever safe at Talladega. Talladega. Anyway, here. So now I'm just gonna talk about like who should go home. I honestly think like, okay, this could be controversial, but I think Keselowski Jr., Johnson Jr. I think all three of those drivers should deserve to like go home, and here's why. To me, Keselowski, I kind of feel like this chase, because Keselowski has been carrying a suitcase, and inside that suitcase is Kyle Busch. It's 2008 Kyle Busch that chased bad luck. Because to me, even if Keselowski won at New Chicagoland, he had issues. He had issues at Chicagoland. He had pit road issues. At New Hampshire, he spun. At New Hampshire, he spun, despite still being a large portion of the race. And then at Kansas, I'm gonna blame Goodyear. I'm gonna blame Goodyear for their possible elimination if they get eliminated. Definitely. So I'll definitely blame Goodyear for that. And I think, especially at Charlotte, a track that and especially at Charlotte, where we expected Keselowski to actually possibly be a top three car, and possibly win. He unfortunately did not accomplish that. And I think him getting into a feud with like Hamlin and Kenseth is definitely not gonna help him at all if that like makes any sense. Jimmy Johnson, yeah. So Jimmy Johnson, he's just not. To me, Jimmy Johnson, he's just not good enough. And I kind of felt like that, So obviously, and I'll probably say this exact same thing next week when he most likely gets eliminated. But to me, this year Jimmy Johnson, he's just not performing well, and I think it's because, and I posted something similar like this on the NASCAR video of Kyle Busch winning the pole, and it was titled like out front, like this course like Kyle Busch like Charlotte. But to me, I posted something. It said something like, to me, the 48 team they've just not been trying. I feel like the 48 team has not been trying as hard as we know, as everyone knows they can. Because to me, a lot of the choices that the 48 team has made in the race, before the race, in practice sections and qualifying have just all been bizarre. And I kind of saw it coming from it because I believe I heard this in NASCAR preseason thunder testing, which was back in January, or during the Daytona 500 practice that apparently I believe, and because I believe I heard something like in one of those two like sessions saying something like, well, Jimmy Johnson during winter testing, during like winter testing, we didn't really see, because apparently in winter testing they did not have a lot of like testing experience or whatever, and just kind of and that vibe and that vibe and that certain like vibe of like, I think to me that vibe of like underperforming in winter testing, it got stronger and stronger and stronger, and pretty much by like race like 10, when he was still like winless. I just kind of I just kind of came to the fact that like Jimmy Johnson is most likely never really gonna like ever have like a like dramatic turnaround, and like come back and win the championship there. I feel like, and I seriously feel like that, in the last few months, they just not showing it here. They pretty much like have had like a 10th place car for the last few months. They were kind of they looked like that they were on like a good streak late May and June. When they won like Charlotte, Dover, and Michigan, but they just not really been performing that well. And I just don't think it. And it would honestly be a shock to me, if he actually made it through. And I kind of hate to say that, because I'm definitely a huge fan of Jimmy Johnson. I love seeing his race, but I just don't think it's happening. And I think with Jimmy Johnson, I think if Johnson were to get eliminated, I think it would actually help him a little bit, because I feel like that, it would give them like extra weeks right here to work on their craft, to work on their skills, to improve themselves, so they can kill it next year in 2015, and hopefully win that 7th championship. But what I have noticed because I'm going to like compare him. I'm going to like compare like his like run with like Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt, because to me, with Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt, it was almost like after they like won like their like 7th championship, they never, for the rest of their years, they never really had that like dominant they never really had that like dominant like every race, every season like vibe anymore after they like won like 7th championship. And it could be the same for Jimmy Johnson. He may never win their champion. He may never win another championship again. And I would, and I wouldn't really be like fine, because I think like Johnson, I think he's won. I think he's left a pretty good historical mark on NASCAR, and I would definitely love to see him win a 7th championship. I think it would be cool if he did to tie himself along to greats. But I just don't think that it's going to happen. It's definitely not going to happen this year, and who knows? I mean, he may never ever get a 7th championship. He might just be like a 6-time champion forever. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. here. I hate to say his phrase. But let's just be real. To me, I can't really. To me, when it comes to Dale Earnhardt Jr., despite being like NASCAR's like most like popular driver and everything, I cannot like ever remember where Dale Earnhardt Jr. like finished. I cannot really like ever remember like what like Dale Earnhardt Jr. like when. And the last time Dale Earnhardt Jr. won at a track that was less than 2 miles was Richmond of 2006. It's been 8 years since he's like won at that kind of track. And I think every now and then he definitely has speed. He definitely has speed. And I think that like this year is definitely one of his like best. I think this year is possibly like his like best year possibly ever, maybe, or I think it's definitely his like best year in like a decade. I'll say that. But I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. here, here with his lack lack of like performance in the chase, and not really performing at the level of not really performing at the level of someone who deserves to be in the next round or in the final round. He's just not doing it. He's just not doing it for me. So I think that he'll definitely get eliminated here. I know it's Talladega, and I know that he's like heavily hyped at Talladega because then everyone's like Dylan Jr. could win. It's just not happening for me. So I'll just say it out there, and it's just kind of like hard. That fourth spot right there, it could really go like anyone because I think that there are definitely a lot of drivers like in jeopardy. Gordon, Hamlin, Kane, all three of those drivers. They're the last two drivers who are safe in the points. Matt Kenseth is ninth place in points, so he's the first. So him and Kane, are separated by like 1 point. Kane is 1 point. Yeah, so the Kane is just like barely inside the top 8. So it'll be very interesting here. But I think Gordon, Hamlin, Kane, and Kenseth are definitely in danger. I think fifth place Carl Edwards, Ryan Newman. I think the RQ drivers that do not have a win, Edwards, Newman, Kyle Busch. I don't think that like those drivers should really be that worried at all. Anyway, so speaking of next speaker here, let's just go. So obviously next week Talladega. This is gonna be this upcoming race at Talladega could possibly be the biggest race of the year. It's definitely gonna be. I think it's definitely gonna be one that's gonna have a lot like drama, stress on both the audience and the drivers here. So it'll be very interesting here, and hopefully we don't see it. Hopefully when the race starts. What am I trying to say here? So hopefully we don't see what we saw like a year ago. They only had like 2 cautions, and one of the cautions was because of a 2-car pileup, and more than 35 cars were able to finish the race. I think a lot of NASCAR fans, I think they definitely want to see like a big one, and I guess if a big one does happen, I don't want the big one. I don't want the big one to be like 10 cars, because to me 10 cars is not technically like, to me 10 cars is not kind of like a big one. To me 10 cars, to me I would just call it like a multi-car crash. I don't want to see a 5-car crash. I don't want to see a 10-car. I don't want to see like a 10-car crash. I want to actually see like a 20-car pile over here. I would like to see something similar to what we saw 2 years ago, on the final lap with Tony Stewart. I would like to see something like that. I would like to see something like what we saw back at Daytona in July, that I believe had a 25-car pileup in July. So I would definitely like to see something like that, and maybe we'll see a Talladega, but maybe not here. So yeah. So now that I got like the rage out, or most of the rage, and I was able to talk about the race right here and so on. So I think that's going to be it for the live stream here. I would just like to thank everyone who is watching this, whether it was live or in the days or months after this was published. I would like to thank everyone for watching it. Thank you for watching this. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all later, and bye.